Hey, what's up? Good morning, good evening, good night, whatever it is, wherever you are. Welcome to my channel. Flu vaccines. Kind of been a pain in the ass and really a educated guess shot in the dark all these years. Well, that could change. Imagine a world where you only get a flu vaccine every 10 years. Wouldn't that be awesome? Once in a lifetime, an actual immunization against the flu. A lifetime immunization. Wouldn't that be something? Well, it's actually quite possibly coming up now. So how do current vaccines work? Well, current vaccines are only about 60% effective in a good year. In a bad year, believe it or not, they're only about 10% effective. So even though you got the shot in a bad year, you still stand a 90% chance of contracting the flu. So what they do now is they try to predict this year what next year's flu strain is going to be. So then they take those strains that they predict that next year is going to have, they put it inside a chicken egg, they let them grow, and they pull them out, and from those they come up with a vaccine. The problem is sometimes those mutate inside the chicken egg. And when they mutate inside the chicken egg, they're not effective for what's out in the real world because they've mutated inside the chicken egg. The real world virus has not. So imagine a world where this is more effective. It's pretty cool because it kind of reminds me of technology like TVs. You can get a 32-inch TV today that does more stuff and is cheaper than a 32-inch way back in the day. It would have cost you $600-700 for a 32-inch TV back in the day. It would have weighed 80 pounds. The screen resolution would have been okay, you know. Now they have the internet on the TV. You can hang it on your wall. The screen resolution is fantastic. You can attach so much stuff to it. The healthcare system is basically like technology. As time goes on, it gets better. But, excuse me, this is a long story, but it's an important story. I encourage you to watch it to the end. On June 24th at 11:34 a.m., Michael Sonn became a part of medical history. That's the day that he became one of the first people to receive an experimental flu vaccine that could radically change the future of medicine, as far as at least vaccination and flu vaccination goes. It's more effective. You wouldn't have to roll up your sleeve every fall, and that's great. It would be a huge relief on the healthcare system. The initial shot, I'm sure, will be definitely more expensive, but in the long run, it's going to save a lot of money. So current flu keeps millions of people from the flu, but it's definitely not good. Here's where it says that the effectiveness of the vaccine is only 60% on a good year, but on a bad year, it's as low as 10%. So definitely, we need some advances on that. 60%, although good, is not great. We can definitely do better, and looks like hopefully we're getting there. The reason that it changes, here's where it says the reason that it changes is the strains, they kind of keep rotating. So you got like a big basket full of viruses that it could be, and scientists go through the year and they try to predict based upon past patterns and math and reasoning and whatnot what they believe the 3 or 4 strains for next year most likely will be. They make vaccines based upon that. Out of those, they mix it into one vaccine, 3 or 4 strains. It's like 3 or 4 vaccines into one. But again, they very possibly could mutate. And if they mutate, then the vaccine is not going to be effective for the real world vaccine. It's going to be effective for the mutated vaccine. Let's see here. Universal flu shot would theoretically cover every strain of the flu, knowing it's what's called an ice cream cone approach. The ice cream cone approach, if I remember, basically, and I'm sure it says it in here, it does. I'll just read it. Picture an ice cream shop that serves a wide variety of flavors, all served with the same type of cone. The current flu vaccine takes aim at the ice cream, basically, and this new shot, it's going to take shot at the cone itself. Without the cone, the ice cream can't exist. Without what makes the virus a virus, it can't exist. Last spring, the doctors started testing the flu shots on Sonn and a few other study participants. They all have different reasons, but Son, his grandfather was orphaned due to the flu epidemic in 1919. That's the Spanish flu pandemic, which killed a third of people. 1 out of every 3 people in the world, 50 million, died from a flu. That is scary crazy. That is crazy scary is what I meant to say. One of the most useful things about the universal flu shot is that it works out exactly as they had figured it would. It protects against flu pandemics, protects against multiple strains of the flu. There's been 4 flu pandemics in the past century: 1918, 1957, 1958, 1968, and in 2009 there was a flu pandemic. I remember a lot of people got sick. This is going to be great. It's going to really, really ease up the healthcare spending. Probably by the end of 2019 or the first quarter of 2020, we'll start to see results and see if it's safe and does it include the kind of response that is broad and covers multiple strains. So end of this year, first quarter of next year, we should see how it goes. We should see if it's safe, if anybody has had any adverse effects, and how effective it is. This is going to be great. This is where they talk about how they inject it into chicken eggs. I already told you all that. This is great, man. This is great. Get vaccinated. Vaccines really help. I know some people don't believe in vaccines. I understand the fear. It's kind of hard to understand the technology and the science of it. But get vaccinated. It does help. I know those numbers are scary, 60% and 10%, but 10% is better than 100%, ineffective. 10%. I'll take 10% over 90%. Let's say you're staying on a cliff and someone says, if you jump in this spot, there's a 10% chance you'll live. If you stand in this spot, there's a 100% chance you'll die. Well, if you have to jump and you have no choice, take the 10%. But that's in a bad year. In a good year, it's 60% effective. You stand more of a chance of not contracting it if you get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Share this story, like, comment, give a thumbs up. This video, my videos just rubber stamp get demonetized. As soon as I load them up, they get demonetized. So engagement will help me get a little bit of a kick under the butt of YouTube. I always ask for a manual review. Usually the manual review comes back 3 or 4 or 5 days later and it says, oh yeah, we were wrong. Sorry, your video is monetizable for all advertisers. Well, 3 or 4 days later for a small channel, it kills the channel. I mean, most of the views happen within the first hour, a couple hours. All right. Thank you guys much. You guys have a good one. This is some great news for the healthcare system. Healthcare spending is a big problem. Anything we can do to limit it and improve healthcare at the same time is a great leap and bound, and I greatly enjoy it that we're making these leaps and bounds. Let's continue it and share this and show support for these scientists that are doing this type of stuff. It's kind of a thankless job, I would think. You go out there, you're saving lives and saving people from getting sick, and how often do they get thanked, you think? Share this and give it a thumbs up for those scientists working hard, huh? All right. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome, and I will see you on the next one.